just the regular singing, dancing, clapping, and all of that. Then ICGC also came to set up a church there. And then they started using microphones and electronic instruments, so they started making noise. Then Crossroads Ministries decided that they needed to match the noise that ICGC was making. So it became a sort of, I am matching your noise on a Sunday, on a Wednesday, on a Friday situation. Now, the EPA daytime permissible noise level for residential areas, and mind you, this is in a residential area, is 55 decibels. They found out that both churches were almost at 86 during church hours. They took this to the district courts. The district courts acquitted the pastors. Then they took it to the high court, and the high court has asked that damages of 20,000 each be paid to the two ladies, and that they bring their noise levels within the acceptable limits for noise making. Now, this story is very interesting and it's very personal to me because I deal with this every Sunday morning. There are 3 churches around my house, and it's almost like a contest for who will be heard. So one church will start a song in one key, the other church will start a different song in another key in the middle, then the third church will crown it off with another song from another direction, and there's so much noise that you can't hear yourself on the phone, you can't hear the TV, even when you have earphones in your ears, you can't hear anything. Then you go to the church and you find out that it's actually about 15 people in a small classroom with incredibly loud noise. It does not make sense at all. So my heart is very satisfied at this.
But it doesn't solve your problem. I think that when you go to other jurisdictions, you can find nightclubs in buildings on a street, and because it's totally soundproof, you stand outside and you don't hear anything. So maybe the churches should move away from. Maybe the conversation is not really about the amount of noise the churches make, as to how the churches think about the communities around them. I mean, and some of these churches are like that. If you go to a church in Achimota, for example, a very popular church, when you're in the car park, you can barely hear the church inside. And in my church as well, when I come into the car park, I cannot hear. It's been built in such a way that the noise. But some of these churches are like classroom blocks, or they are just open churches with windows, and they are blasting.
The noise is deliberate. It is deliberate to announce their presence. It's not that they need it for those who are inside the church. Because if you look at the numbers you have given, I've gone to churches where, given the number of people there, you don't even need a PA system to hear yourselves. And yet they tune the volume so loudly. And sometimes they actually place the speakers outside the building of the church, the auditorium.
Maybe it's a way of evangelizing, but it's not working. If you're listening, it's not working. Because as much as we love God, I'm so irritated at that kind of intrusion and that kind. And these women, one of them says she has grandchildren who are triplets. And as soon as the church starts, the babies can't sleep. So they are awake, they are crying, they're irritated.
Especially in the evening services,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's an important ruling there from the court. Maybe it's time for us to start rethinking that. Raymond, kidnappings.
Yes, in the year 2018, when we all thought that this was not something that ought to be reported consistently, out of the 58 confirmed cases of kidnapping, abduction, and missing persons recorded, 23 were either found or rescued. That means that 35 Ghanaians, as we speak today, are either kidnapped, abducted, or went missing and are yet to be found. And if you like, you can add the recent one of the 3 Takoradi girls to it. So they are joining the queue from the back, which is like 38 of them as we speak. This is to show that we have a bigger problem with dealing with this matter. And this is actually from the police anyway. And they say that they need time to work on it because of how complex some of these things may be and how they intend working at it properly. Don't forget, in Takoradi, the people are promising boot for boot kind of demonstration in their next time that they proceed, because they do not want to trust that the police is doing anything seriously about this issue, and they want resolutions now.
But there are also fake kidnappings being reported.
Yeah, so 2 have been remanded in Takoradi for faking a kidnapping story. And the story is, and these 2 are Antonio Seprempe, 18, and Evelyn Chris Ejapon, 19. These 2 helped one student of the Ghana Secondary Technical School in Takoradi to fake the kidnapping of a boy, Divris Kwenu. This Divris Kwenu approached one of the people and said he wants to fake his own kidnapping so that he can take money from his parents. And these people held him. He left the school and then disappeared And then they sent a message to the senior housemaster that this guy had been kidnapped. And then somebody appeared before the senior housemaster and said, "Oh, I know where he is. We can find him." And then they found out.
So the object was to get ransom money?
Yes, that's they just faked that. They bought SIM cards. They made calls to the guy's brother and made claims that he had been kidnapped. And they demanded 9,000 Ghana cedis ransom. And then the police went into the matter and found out that this was completely fake.
Interesting. So now they have been remanded.
Yes, they've been remanded. So one of them, Anthony, he pleaded guilty. The other lady, Evelyn, she pleaded not guilty. Of course, some other students were involved. Some of them pleaded guilty. 3 of them, one pleaded not guilty. The court is going to give its judgment next week.
We'll see what happens next week. But Parliament has also given its judgments on the Kennedy Japan matter, Malik.
Yes. So yesterday, Parliament took a decision on Kennedy Japan. Parliament found him guilty of contempt of Parliament because he called Parliament cheap. In fact, the charge against him was that he called Parliament cheap and useless. And when he was given the opportunity to apologize for calling Parliament cheap and useless, he gave a conditional apology. He said, first of all, he wants Parliament to expunge the claim that he called Parliament useless. He said he never said that, but he called Parliament cheap, and that he blamed on the journalists, that the journalists didn't allow him to develop his point. If that had happened, he would have
understood why he was calling
absolutely.
Parliament.
But if Parliament was offended, he's sorry. He has no problem at all apologizing to Parliament. Nonetheless, the Privileges Committee found him guilty of contempt of the House, and therefore they reprimanded him.
Right.
Some suggest that Parliament actually proved him right.
Thanks, Malik. Thanks. Interesting reactions that we got there. Okay, we are going online now, and the online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy. Go light, bank lights with Zenith Bank via Zenith Internet Banking. Use Zenith Bank's upgraded internet banking service to effect instant transfers, view account statements, top up investments, requests for checkbooks, block your card, pay bills, and so much more. Sign up for free and bank lights with Zenith Bank. Zenith Bank, always in your best interest. MyJoyOnline.com says Osafo blasts Mahama for painting Ghana black to diplomats. This is coming from Senior Minister Yao Osafo. He believes it was wrong for former President John Mahama to show photos and videos of the violence that rocked the Ayawaso West Bogon by-election to the diplomatic community. Interesting thoughts there from Yao Osafo. Pentecostal and Charismatic Council threatens nationwide demonstration over vigilante group. Now, the president of the GPCC, the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, Reverend Professor Paul Frimpong Manso, he was speaking at the 2019 conference of the council, has said that it's about time that they marched. And I'm going to read this. He said, it's becoming worrying when these ruling party vigilantes seem to be emboldened by each passing day as a result of the seeming inaction of the police and defiant statements from some party executives in support of these hoodlums. There's a study that says the effect of the use of mobile phones on second cycle students in Ghana. It analyzes these effects. It's by Ebenezer Aklago and Johnny Makukodia. It's on myjoyonline.com. If you have a child in senior high school, you may want to read this. And if you remember what it was like to use a mobile phone in senior high school, maybe it betrays your age. But you may also want to read that as well. The BBC.com has a policeman sentenced to death for murder. Interesting case there. I want to see what happened to Nahashon Mutwa. The BBC will probably report on that in just a few minutes. But guys, the Nigeria election is heating up. And next week, the voting is on Saturday. By next week, Monday, between Monday and Wednesday, we will be getting that results.
Whether Grandpa Buhari will retain his position as president.
But is he that much